So are we actually going to do this? Yeah, we are. Let's go. Welcome to official episode number 1 of Actually the Podcast. And this episode, I'm just going to talk marketing because that's what we're starting with. How do you actually grow your business? How do you actually make sales? How do you actually get to 6 figures? How do you get to multiple 6 figures? How do you actually get there? So this is what we're going to pull back today. We're just going to go right into the nitty-gritty of what built my business, what actually got me to where I am today, to supporting my family, bringing in the money, expanding my team. My husband was able to leave his 9-to-5 job because we had the stability of my job so that he could work in his own dreams and his business. And I'm so excited. P.S. by the way, that we're going to have some episodes where he's going to come on and talk. I cannot wait for you guys to meet him. I'm pretty obsessed with him. Side note. Random. Okay, back to the strategy. All right, multi 6 figures in business. How do you get from $400 a month, which I told you about? That was my first goal when I first started working in the online space. I just wanted to pay for groceries. How do you go from that to scaling to okay, what if I could make $500,000 in my business? What if I could do that? What is the strategy that will get me there? And I'm going to be honest with you again. So truth telling right now is I'm feeling vulnerable because I don't like talking specific money for myself. That is one of those childhood things. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about money. I'm not here to give you all of the random little nitty gritty numbers behind the scenes. But what I really want to talk to you about is how do you scale? How do you get to that next level? What is the actual steps that took you there? And what is the actual strategy that got you there? And so I'm going to tell you the thing that changed everything for me was going all in on my marketing strategy and being intentional, saying what are the actions that bring me to cash, and getting extremely clear on those. So whether it was in our brick and mortar business or in my blog, in my virtual assistant agency, whatever business that I had at the time. And now, of course, I'm in my coaching program and my coaching business. I have to be extremely clear with myself and honest. What are the actual actions that I need to be taking every single week, every single month that lead to cash and growth? And I will tell you what I've landed on as the baseline strategy for my business, and also what I teach every other person that I work with in their business. And there's some version of this. And I believe truly at the core business, it can be very, very simple. We don't have to make it complicated. It doesn't have to be exhausting. It doesn't have to be multi-steps. It's just going to be very, very simple. So here's what it looks like. It looks like connection marketing. And connection marketing, it consists of 3 C's. And this is how you can remember it. Connections. This is your new leads, new people coming into your world. Conversations. This is where you nurture, create community, build your know, like, and trust, and you funnel them into conversions. And that is where your sales process comes in. So, repeating, connections, conversations, conversions. This is at the core. Every business has a form of this. Every business. So if you are trying to figure out, okay, what is my strategy for getting new people in? That's your connections. What happens a lot of times is people get really, really focused on their connections, the new leads. They're I'm constantly bringing in new leads. I'm growing my Instagram. I want to get new followers there. Great. Awesome. But what are you doing to get them into the next step? The conversations, because it's really hard nowadays in 2025. We are no longer falling for a quick meet and greet and buy in the online space anymore, especially if you're a service-based industry. If there's a lot of competition for what you're doing, there has to be something that sets you apart and gives you that opportunity to nurture and create conversation and help somebody know that you really are about them and not the quick sale. So we can't just go from connection to conversion as easily as we used to. I'm not saying that you can never skip the middle step, but it's going to take a lot more intentionality, and you're going to have to be really, really good with your connections and still have some sort of funnel conversation, because we got to get them into our world and then tell them what we do. Let them know that we are about them. Let them know that we understand them. This is what's going to set you apart when there's a bajillion coaches out there, when there's 100 other VAs trying to get that same job, when there's another product that's exactly like yours. I was just talking to somebody who has a planner. Like, how do we get your planner to stand out above everyone else's planner? What else is it that makes you different? What is your story? Why do you see them in a different way? What is it that every other coach or every other person that's offering this offer, this course, this product is missing that you have paid attention to and you know they want and is going to be the game changer for them? We are going to have to be more specific with this connection, conversations, situation that we have going on in our marketing plan so that we are getting people into our space and letting them know we see them. With this marketing strategy, it is really exciting to me to be able to dive into it with someone. When I go into my own business, I can get really jazzed up again because it does. And when I'm talking to someone else, I can be very excited because I can help them feel like we can uncomplicate marketing, because we all know there's so many things that we could do. Like, we could be on TikTok. We can have a YouTube channel. You can have a podcast. You can have a Facebook group. You can have digital products and freebies and low ticket offers and email funnels and email sequences. And the list is forever long of all the things. So that can be, again, never ending to-do list feeling where you're just like, I have so much to do. But when we break it down, all I need to do is get a connection, meet someone. I need to go out, find that person. Who am I looking for? I'm determined to go and meet them this week. I go where they hang out and I intentionally meet them. That can be online, that can be in person, that can be all kinds of different ways. But I'm going to go intentionally connect with my people. Then I'm going to engage them in a conversation. And then I'm going to offer them naturally and organically and in a non-spammy way that, hey, we've been talking and I can see that you want this, and I can see that this obstacle is in your way, and I can see that you want this in this timeline. I have something that can help you with that. Would you like to know more? And it is as simple and as organic and as easy as that. Because I hear from women over and over again, as I've worked with so many different industries and talked to women in the society. One of the things I hear a lot is people are like, I'm so afraid of sounding spammy. So they end up not talking about their business at all. Or they jump the gun because they're so desperate for a sale. They're like, hi, you want to buy my stuff? There's no in between. We either avoid telling anybody about our offer because we want to just give and not be spammy and pushy, or we're on the opposite extreme because we're desperate for a sale. We're just like, hi, buy my things. And then it just becomes like this anxious energy that everybody feels. And so we don't want to be either of those just extremes where we're avoiding the sale or we're over aggressive. So let's bring in what I call feminine energy with the marketing. Let's integrate some feminine energy into our marketing and embrace that. We are women where we have feminine energy. We don't have to do the bro marketing style, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with the way they sell, and there's nothing wrong with the way we sell. There's nothing wrong with either one, but the point is to be intentional with your actions to getting the sale, to getting the growth, to finding the new person, the next person that you're going to serve, the next person that you're going to be intentional with serving and enjoying that opportunity to say, I want to show up and give to you. I'm going to serve. So, do you know exactly how you're connecting with your new leads this week? That's question number one. How are you finding your new people? This is gathering new people into your world. This is not you posting on social media. I really view social media as a lot of the nurture and conversations. And so we want to get new people into our social media. Yes, you can use like viral reels or things like that. Like, content can be shown by the algorithm to outside new people, which we're grateful for when the algorithm does that for us, because that means they're trying their best to find our people. However, we don't want to rely on just waiting for the algorithm to pick us up. We also need to go out and find our people. That could be using SEO. That could be using communities on Facebook or on LinkedIn, networking groups in your local town. There's all kinds of ways that you can connect with people, but being very intentional. How do I want to connect with my people every day? And when I asked this question myself several years ago, I was like, okay, my coach at the time had told me I had to be spending a minimum of 60 minutes at least, if not twice a day, 60 minutes finding my people. And I was like, that's not happening. I have 6 little kids. There's no way I can spend all that time. I've got things to do. So I asked myself, instead of saying like feeling defeated and I can't meet my people and I won't be able to grow my connections and my leads, I decided, what do I have available to me? What do I have available to my time? And I have 10 minutes. So I can do 10 minutes of connection every single day. So I went all in on a 10-minute marketing strategy, which I now lovingly call 10 and 10 Connect. And this is the game changer piece for me to be able to say, I can show up and connect with my people and invite them into my world. And there's always action happening. Some days I get a lot of connections and some days I don't, but it's only 10 minutes. So my time is not feeling like over anxious about, oh man, I spent all this time and I didn't go viral on one reel that I took an hour to create. That's now not pressurized anymore, because I'm able to just be like, oh, I showed up for 10 minutes. I go, I do my thing, and I move on. And it's just like this pressure reliever to be able to have that. If you want to know more about the 10 and 10 Connect, we have a free workshop on that. If you are interested, you can check the link in the show notes to check that out and see exactly how we do 10 and 10 Connect every single day, because let's uncomplicate it. You can connect with new people and connect with people and bring them into your world every day, and it doesn't have to take long. And so if you have a connection strategy, start working on that. All right. Connecting with people every day. And then don't just leave them as new connections and expect them to figure out what your offer is. Expect them to come to you and ask you what you do. I look at the second step as, I am now the parent and you are either a toddler or a teenager lead. A toddler is when you are a lead that is a toddler, and this is how I view you, this in so much love. Don't be offended now. You are a squirrel. You're very easily distracted. You are constantly like, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? And you have like immediate needs that are like, this is what's wrong right now. And I want this fixed right now. So how can you fix it for me? And so that's the toddler mentality. So I need to engage you and keep you talking and stay forefront with you in a conversation way, nurturing you, creating community, seeing you. Hey, how are you doing? Did you see this? Do you want this? Like checking with you, finding out what you're like, getting down to the nitty gritty, because toddlers have a hard time communicating. Then we also have our teenager leads. And those are the ones that you cannot ask them yes or no questions, because if you do, that will be the end of the conversation. You have to ask open-ended questions, and you're the one that has to keep asking the questions, because they're only going to give you and respond to you when you're engaging them. You also have leads that are toddlers and teenagers, and your job is to be the parent in the business, the one in charge, and you're going to have to create conversation. And some of them are going to be the toddlers, where you're going to figure out how they need to be communicated with. What is it that they actually want? And then the teenagers, where you're going to have to engage the conversation, because they need you. They want your help. They can use your services and your products and all the things that you're working so hard to create. How do you create those conversations? Ask yourself that, and then get really good at funneling the conversations into an opportunity to serve them. While you're talking to them, while you're having those nurture moments, while you're having that conversation, whether it's in the DMs or in an email sequence, or maybe in stories or in a workshop, you can be seeding to them that you know what they're going through, that you understand them, that you see them, and that you can repeat back to them exactly what they're wanting, what they're missing, what they're feeling, what their pain is, and then seeding into there that you can help them change that, and you understand because you've either been there or one of your clients has been there. And so then the conversation naturally and organically comes to this head where you can have the opportunity to invite them into an opportunity to work with you or an opportunity to buy the product, because it's natural and organic, because you've taken the time to really see your audience and to really know them and to get to hear them and respond with them and use their words and communicate with them on their exact needs and story. The conversion is easy. And this is really, truly at the core of what my business is. It is not because I have a community on Facebook. It is not because I have an Instagram following. It is not because of any one thing in my business. It is really down to the core. My business has grown over the last few years in a substantial way because I've gone all in on these 3 steps. How am I connecting every day? Who am I having conversations with this week? And am I offering my services to them? And is what I'm doing, how I'm showing up, giving them the best value? Because if it is, I'm not going to be afraid to tell them exactly what I do and that I can help them. And I'm so ready to help them because they have the pain point and the problem that I can solve because I've taken the time to hear it. So if you are this year in 2025 thinking, okay, what is the marketing strategy that will work in 2025? I 100% guarantee this strategy can work for you. And if you're like, I don't know how to do it, then let's talk about it. Like, you have to come into your business and say, what is actually going to work and how can I actually make this simple to take action on every week? That's what this podcast is all about, because I want you to feel so clear. How am I getting connections? Okay, I'm getting connections every single week. Is this the right kind of connections? Are these my people that I actually want? Or am I connecting with people who are not ready for me? Or am I connecting with people who don't care? We have to be aware of that. Then, okay, how am I talking to them? I connected with them. I got them onto my email list. I got them into my social media. I got them to listen to my podcast. How then am I taking this next step of communicating and talking back and forth to them? Then the next step is, am I actually ever getting to the point where I'm telling them what I do? Because I don't want you just to love on people for no reason. I don't want you just to spend all your time talking to them and solving all their problems for free. That's not what I'm suggesting here. But I am telling you to get to that point where you're just like, I see you, I understand you, and I know I can help you. And to me, you would be mean if you were gatekeeping at that point and not telling me how you could help and serve me. Coming back to the conclusion, what will work in 2025? This strategy. If you could go all in on one marketing strategy for 2025, this is the one I want you to go all in on. Connections, conversations, conversions. How are you doing it? And what do you need to do to make that happen every single week? It doesn't have to take a lot of time. This takes like about an hour, maybe an hour and a half of my time every week, and it converts. And it brings new people in, and it brings opportunities, and it's growing and scaling my business in a sustainable and organic and natural and aligned way. And it can work for you too. If you're thinking like, how do I make connection marketing or strategy work for me? Then DM me the word connection. Let's talk. Let's just get in here and just be real. One of the points of this podcast is that we create more conversations and more opportunities for us to say, like, how do you do that? So get on Facebook, join the society. You're going to see me in there. Click on my name and hit message. I constantly am in Facebook checking my messages. So DM me there, type out connections, and let's go. Let's talk about it. How would connection marketing work for you? What are the connections, the conversations, and the conversions steps that you need to be making every single week? And let's put them into play and make that the game changer step for you reaching that next level in your business. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. I hope it's got your brain going. Next step is to actually take the action. And join me again next week for another episode. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for actually joining us today. I hope it inspired you to actually take the action to step into the empowered CEO that you are and getting more of the results that you want. Before you go, I have a quick favor. Leave us a review and take a screenshot of this episode and share it with your friends and on your favorite social media channels. Don't forget to tag us, actually.thepodcast and Lani J. Jackson. And we'll see you next week on another episode.